Hello guys, new technical analysis and prediction for next week. Quick recap for last week. Basically, it was a continuation to the 560, and from there try to see if the sellers entering. They did, but not with all the power. And I think maybe for our next prediction, maybe they are still waiting. I don't know. But the 560 was the end target for the S&P. We got it a little bit from the ups, down, so it basically hang at the 560. So it was a easy prediction for a continuation to the upside. And I don't know if it wants to break now the 565 in order for continuation, because it had a very quick run for the upside, almost no, let's say, recoil or some resting period. So I don't know if it will need it right now. If it fail to break the high, the 565 area, or if the sellers will start to come, let's say, with some nice red candle here, it could mean that we're gonna see a break for the downside, which is a resting, selling, taking profit, and then maybe we gonna see the continuation. So this is just looking at it on from the daily basis. Look at it on the weekly, how it looks. 1, 2, 3. So big candle, small candle, but full body. So you can say no sellers. Also, we saw this. This is the bounce area. It basically break it, create a divergence. So we knew this is why we're gonna see the continuation, but we didn't manage to break the all-time high. And I think with the momentum it brings, it could. But even in the weekly, if we look at it, let's say it could continue, it can move here, and then it can fail. So it can move up and fail, and then we're gonna create divergence on the weekly for a pullback. So imagine weekly pullback divergence and a daily pullback divergence. It will be very strong, all right? Of course, you can see the big candle there. You can see 1, 2, 3, and just a little bit slow break, slow resting break, and continuation. So we might gonna see something like this happening. Of course, you can see it something like here, but resting, break, 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 and then a fallback. Do I think we're gonna see a fallback? No. So any pullback will just bring more buyers to the table, because on the weekly this is a big divergence. You know what? Let's go for the monthly and see how it looks, guys. Oh, it almost touched. I think it touched the 508, 5 low, 510. It didn't. And see what the buyers did to this candle. We are here. We are strong. We want to continue. This is, and see the difference in the volatility here compared to this volatility and compared to this volatility. This from 2020, it's basically crazy volatility in the market, guys. See a big candle, a lot of money in the market waiting, and you see no volume. This is a gray volume. This is a very low volume, but a big body. So this is like a divergence between the buyers and the candle pattern. But so far, still green, still for the upside, still momentum is positive. Let's come back for the daily. So still positive. It broke a little bit here, but usually when it broke, it can continue like here. You can see it resting in the overbought area, and then creating the fall for the pullback. If we check it on the 4-hour chart, you can see it very strong there. I thought the pullback here would be much deeper. We watch it on we was waiting on the daily. I thought it will come this week, so maybe next week will be the pullback. But we got it on the 4-hour chart, guys. So you can see this is the pullback, clear divergence, and then continuation. So just break it a little bit from here and continue for all-time high. So nothing much to say there. You can say there is a little bit weakness coming in, but still overall the trend is up, so don't try to fight it. If we look at it on smaller time frame, we can see what happened there. Of course, as I said in this indicator, when it touches the very low, it usually bounces and it can continue. And we have the divergence for continuation. And you know what? Look at it here. Let's imagine this line is the resistance. See what happened? It became a support. Even though I will want it to retest it again, because we don't have much line like this. Look at it here. All right. Let me draw it for you. Something like this. So resistance, resistance, break, support. So if it can rest it a little bit more and then try to bounce to give an assurance for continuation could be great. And I thought it will make something like this one, but it didn't. Just broke it, which is also good. So in the 1-hour chart, what we have there, we needed to break this high, just to gap up, push a little bit higher, clear the divergence. There is a momentum at the end of the session. Let's look at it here to see what needs to be done. So let's say in the smaller time frame, let's make it bigger, because we see tail from both sides. Probably people wait below the 558 if it closed below, or the push for the retest on the 200, 555, 551, sorry, and maybe a bigger pullback, like a Fibonacci pullback, someplace like, let's say, the 544 or even 540 area. Could be an area for a nice pullback, clear some gaps. So watch it. And just breaking this high 563 for continuation, free continuation for all-time high, and maybe create from there a pullback. So far the signs are for continuation and a pullback to bring more buyers. So this is for the SPY. Qs basically the same, rather that the Qs listening more for the indicator. You see how it touched it and immediately got rejected, inside candle. So now we have to see if it's want to push above it or below it. Either way, we have the divergence for the downside. It also crossed, so we have to see if it wants to continue hanging there and then make the pullback. Same goes as the SPY, nothing much to say about it here. it's a little bit started to facing down. You can see momentum also here start to face down. It's still strong. This is the divergence. So maybe now it's lagging after the SPY. So the SPY already made the move a little bit higher, waiting for the break. But the Qs didn't. But guys, still strong. And there is a divergence for continuation and breaking the 480. And from there, if it break it, continue for the 483.50 and the smaller time frame, and from there the 490 and so on. There is a lot of resistance up above, so I think it's before it wants to attack, it needs to rest, bring more buyers to the table in order to break. But either way, if it falls down, it just bring more buyers. So I think just follow the momentum. Nothing much to say. Let's watch smaller time frame here. This is the bounce. Sellers, buyers inside. Wait for the break for the up. Wait for the break for the down. So nothing much to say about it. IWM. IWM was a nice prediction for the reaching for the 221 here. It did immediately touched and just a little bit tail. This is a strong candle and this is a strong push up. So basically it's like did nothing these 2 weeks from 3 weeks almost from beginning of August. Can just resting in the same where it was. Nice volume coming in, which is good. Of course, here momentum is positive, positive, positive. So it's more positive. It means more money coming in and more money if it's from selling the Qs or even a little bit the SPY. They want to preserve the momentum in both of them and bring more money to the smaller caps. So it's good. Started to make a divergence, but another little push and clear it up and for continuation, which is nice. But again, 225 is an area you want to watch closely. It wants to break it. It seems that this is a Fibonacci resistance. If it managed to break it and close above, it could do the pullback and then move freely for the all-time high and the 300. So far, if we look at it, again, watch the momentum. Tesla. All right, Tesla. Again, touching the 223, a pullback, playing a little bit with it, and pull back in. Doesn't look that good. I don't like this big candle there because you can see this is like 1, 2, 3, something like this. So this is a higher low. So it could continue and it doesn't look that good. If we look at it on the 4-hour chart, you can see it in between the high, the low and the high. It's in the middle of nowhere. Momentum is start to be positive again. There is a divergence for continuation, which is good. So just going up again above the 221.50, just can break here, but I think it need more power in order to do so. It has the power, so if you want to be safe, 222.70, if it managed to close above it, could continue higher. And where it ends, if it managed to do, guys, 245, 250 again, closing this gap. Alright, this is the gap it wants to close, so it can reach there. And so far it's look positive. Of course, there is some resistance up above. But if it managed to clear the 222, it's I think it's a free highway for the 240, 245. Let's look at it on the 1 hour chart. You can see it here. There is a divergence which is not that good on smaller time frame. This is a higher high, this is lower high. So be careful if it's managed to break the 218. Could fall down. Let's see if it managed to do so. Yeah, some people say 215.50 to be sure. It's below the 200 there in a smaller time frame, but so far I see continuation for the upside and managing to break the 220-260. So it could do a push and bring the buyers back. Yeah, lots of volume coming there. So if it managed to break it managed to break this one, it spike up with a lot of stop losses and managed to break the high. So I will watch two scenarios, which probably will be easy if it managed to break it there. Push for the upside if it here, could press it to the 215 and below for continuation down. So far I don't know if it wants to. Let's check something if it wants to I don't think. I think it will try to maybe spike it down and then continue higher, but it's more easy to spike it higher at the beginning. Apple. All right, Apple. Apple basically resting, didn't do much. Same goes here with the divergence. So just going below here, breaking down to the 210, breaking up for continuation, trying to close some gaps. Nothing much to say. Let's look at it here. Again, divergence for the upside for continuation. Momentum a little bit negative. Again, this is a sideways. So above or below, nothing much to say in a sideways move. Nvidia, same goes, guys. All right, same goes. More positive, more divergence. Wants to break in a much smaller time frame. You can see something maybe like this. Then push here. Momentum start to be a little bit negative. Watch it. But any push for the downside will bring the buyers. Again, divergence for the downside, but just a little bit gap up, retest, and then continuation can clear the divergence. So Meta, with Meta again resting here, a little bit negative. It facing down with the momentum, so it can mean I think Meta was the leading indicator in the last 2 weeks. Still strong. You can see what it can do. It can push up, creating divergence for the downside. So this is a little bit negative. It already the trend change here, not like with the SPY, Apple, Nvidia, and stuff. The trend change, so it can push lower to bring the buyers from the 500, and also the market can do the same move. So this is it. Let's look at it here. So you can see a little bit oversold. So just closing below this one from the 200 and below. So you have the support and resistance from below. Yeah. I don't want to talk about mRNA. Maybe I will back for it later. BA. So it touched basically a key resistance, immediately came back because we saw the divergence, and now it's more positive, it has more power. You can see this is high low, and high low, which is good. It didn't broke the pattern, so it's still in a sideways move, but it's look more positive. You can see divergence there. This is lower low, this is higher low, so above this one you can push for the upside. Doesn't mean it will break all-time high, but it can make another attempt for reaching for the 183. This is the end goal. Okay, let's talk about gold. All right, gold a little bit resting this week in the highs, which is good. You can look at it a little bit divergence there. This is 98.54. This is 95. So a good pullback, bring more buyers from this area. You can see how it touched there. I don't know if it can want to do another retest. So maybe another pullback for retest and then coming back. You can see the divergence again. The same pattern goes with most of the stocks in a smaller time frame. So it seems like the market is trading a smaller time frame, resting a little bit, very cautious, measuring each step very carefully, not making a big investment decision yet. So you can see it here. This is a divergence for a continuation, which is good, but start to fall. So if it breaks below, should be very careful, but usually it could mean just continuation and more resting a little bit. And I think the gold want a little bit more rest, and you can see how it wants to face for the 50 rest with a big momentum there, because it had a rough time to break it and it failed. So maybe bring more buyers. Silver. Silver managed to be more strong than the gold because you can see the gold is at the highs, the silvers came from the lows. So, but silver already created divergence, and this is what I was afraid of. And it seems that it got rejected and immediately bounced. So I don't know if it has the power to move back to the 2780, 28, but it can be rejecting again for the 26 because this has a divergence. In order to clear the divergence, it needs to break the 2880 area here. And if in order to do so, you need a big candle. It needs lots of buyers to do so. It doesn't have much time. You need to do it very quickly. You can see this is a divergence. So in order to do so, it needs to push immediately for the 28 and another candle for the 29. Can it do so? Momentum positive, positive, positive. And if it managed to break the 2740 there, can push for the high. You can see the momentum is very strong. Buyers came. This is the volume. Even though sellers try to attack, they failed. Try to attack. Buyers came. Sellers try to attack and finish. So just taking up this high, you will see a lot of stop losses getting hit. Oxy. Sorry. All right. Oxy still very weak, resting, doing nothing. Any push for the upside can create divergence. It didn't create it, so this is a sideways. At the moment, momentum is negative. You can see it higher lows and lower lows. This is a resting. So we need to see if the buyers are strong here. In order to see if they're strong, we need to see it breaking this pivot there. If it managed to do so, let's wait for a retest. So I don't know if I want to join it there for the move for the up for the retest, but you can see volume coming in. Could be very interesting. In the 4-hour chart, negative, 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 negative. And and you see the divergence already forming. So if it push and fail to break the 58, let's say here is 30, it will create divergence to push it again for the downside. So be very careful because there is a lot of resistance up above. So guys, let's finish and try to conclude. So far, basically, SPY use most of the stock. Momentum is positive. A little bit weak, a little bit weakness and resting period in the 4-hour chart, 1-hour chart. There is divergence for continuation. But in order to see a clear continuation, we need to see the break and a big volume coming to break it. Most of the time, if there is a break, there is a lot of stop losses, which will bring more, let's say, volume to the table, which is good, especially in the IWM. And so far, again, I'm positive. Can I see a pullback? Yes, I can. It just is a positive pullback because it just bring more buy, more resting. You can look at it on the daily. This is a big, strong move, and you can say like a V shape, big V shape. So a nice pullback for the 544 is a good resting, but so far it seems it wants to rest at the highs and continue higher, which is good, and then give the pullback. So maybe another break for the 580 and then a retest from the 565, 560 and continue higher. Could be. So far I'm positive for continuation. There is some indication for a pullback. So maybe for intraday you can take the way for the down, but longer term so far it seems positive. So this is it, guys. Hope you like it. Hope you enjoy it. Of course, do your own due diligence. This is just my thought. I'm trying to be very careful with it, thus as I'm not preparing much. What I'm looking at the chart, this is what I'm saying. So of course, this is my thought only. Hope you enjoy it and continue watching. Thank you guys. Bye.